Honesty may not always win you popularity, but it will certainly attract the right people into your life, those who value truth over comfort. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." This applies to the friendships we cultivate. It's better to have a few trustworthy individuals by your side than a crowd of shallow companions. In today's world, where social media constantly bombards us with images of other people's successes, it can be easy to fall into the trap of comparison. But remember, comparing your life to someone else's is like sabotaging your own happiness. Modern Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own journey, understanding that each of us is fighting battles unseen. Every second you spend envying others is a moment stolen from your own growth, a truth echoed in Seneca's wisdom. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. In the same vein, emotional independence is crucial. People change, circumstances change, and even your closest friends can drift away over time. Instead of clinging to others for validation, learn to be content with yourself. As Epictetus reminds us, no man is free who is not a master of himself. Modern Stoicism encourages self-reliance and inner fortitude, an iron mind. If your happiness is dependent on the presence or approval of others, you risk losing yourself. When you can find peace in solitude, you are free from the unpredictable nature of relationships. Share your progress, not your goals, and you'll discover that your journey remains a personal one, unaffected by the opinions of others. In a world that pushes us to constantly broadcast our intentions, keeping some things close to the chest allows for authentic growth and avoids the weight of external expectations. It's far better to walk alone than to walk in poor company. People who demand the most from you are often the ones who contribute the least to your life. They drain your energy without offering anything in return. Modern Stoicism teaches us the importance of discerning the people we allow into our lives. As you walk this path, remember that your time and energy are valuable resources. Fear, often seen as an obstacle, can actually be a sign that you care deeply about something. It's a signal of your engagement with life. Instead of allowing fear to paralyze you, let it motivate you to push through discomfort. "He who is brave is free," said Seneca, and that courage comes not from the absence of fear, but from the determination to face it head-on. One of the greatest Stoic secrets is learning not to make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. When we are in the heat of the moment, it's easy to act impulsively, only to regret it later. Whether in relationships or daily challenges, taking a step back allows us to see the bigger picture. If you put someone on a pedestal, they have no choice but to look down on you. This is as true in romantic relationships as it is in friendships and work environments. True strength comes from maintaining your dignity and self-respect, regardless of the opinions of others. As Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This lesson teaches us that while we cannot control the behavior of others, we always have control over our own responses. In today's fast-paced world, we often feel the pressure to speak up, to give advice, or to make our voices heard. However, just because something comes to mind doesn't mean it needs to be said. There's power in silence and wisdom in knowing when to hold your tongue. Light, after all, travels faster than sound, which is why some people seem brilliant until they speak. Stoic thought encourages us to be measured in our speech and intentional with our words. We owe it to ourselves to be careful with our actions and the legacy we leave behind. As we age, it becomes clearer that the only person we owe anything to is our present self. Your younger self, full of dreams and idealism, did the best they could. but it is your present self who will determine the future. Taking care of your body and mind is part of this responsibility. As the Stoics believed, the body is a vessel for the mind, and neglecting it weakens our capacity for rational thought and action. Overthinking, one of the greatest thieves of joy, can destroy even the most serene mind. The Stoic philosophy teaches us to approach life with a clear and calm mindset. Most of the problems we create are not due to the situations themselves, but our reactions to them. Epictetus reminds us, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." The next time you find yourself spiraling into unnecessary worry, pause and ask yourself, will this matter in 10 years? Chances are it won't. Focus instead on what truly matters: your health, your relationships, and your inner peace. Modern Stoicism offers practical tools to cut through the noise and concentrate on what you can control. One of the core principles of Stoic secrets is recognizing that you only get one body, and it will carry you through your entire life. It's both incredibly resilient and incredibly fragile. You are responsible for nurturing it through proper care, both physically and mentally. Just as you wouldn't allow a car to fall into disrepair, you must also ensure that your body is maintained. Exercise, rest, and nutrition are not just modern concepts. They were part of the ancient Stoic practice of self-discipline. "The foundation of a good life is a healthy mind in a healthy body," said Epictetus, and this remains as true today as it was then. Lastly, one of the most liberating truths of modern Stoicism is understanding that you have no control over what others think or do. What you do have control over is how you spend your time today. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain, but the present is in your hands. Don't waste time comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Everyone has struggles, but what sets you apart is your response to them. Just because you miss someone or something from your past doesn't mean you need it back in your life. Missing is simply part of the process of moving forward. Embrace the change, learn from it, and grow stronger. When you choose a partner, it's natural to be drawn to their appearance first. It's a part of human nature to be attracted to beauty. However, over time, you begin to realize that looks alone won't raise your children, build a life with you, or provide emotional support in times of hardship. What will make a difference are their values, principles, and the foundation upon which they build their life. As the Stoic principles remind us, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. You can't have it all. Everything in life comes with a trade-off. You exchange one thing for another, and this applies to relationships, careers, and even daily decisions. It's the quality of those exchanges that determines the quality of your life. One essential rule for navigating relationships is to observe who speaks well of you behind your back and who has the courage to be honest with you to your face. These are the people who are your true friends, and they are the ones who will stand by you, not just during the good times, but also through the storms. Letting go is one of the hardest things to do, but it is also one of the most liberating. When you let go of things that no longer serve you, be it a toxic relationship, a failed dream, or a lingering fear, you create space for growth. The more you practice letting go, the more fearless you become. Fear has a way of shrinking your world and your possibilities, but each small victory over fear makes the next challenge easier to face. As the saying goes, courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. If you allow someone to make you feel like you're only an option while you make them a priority, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. Remember this important Stoic rule: if you try to be a friend to everyone, you risk being an enemy to yourself. Protect your peace and be discerning in your relationships. There's a reason you were born with 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that proportion. The Stoic philosophers taught the importance of listening more than speaking, of gathering wisdom before sharing it. The world will show you more through action than words, so learn to observe people by their deeds. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one, said Marcus Aurelius. Life is constantly evolving, and you will live many lives within your one lifetime. Each phase brings its own lessons, and the more you accept change, the easier life becomes. Recognizing the good in others and seeing life through a lens of optimism is one of the most powerful Stoic principles for personal growth. Life, much like nature, follows a rhythm that you can't control. You may cut all the flowers, but you cannot stop spring from coming. This metaphor reminds us that no matter how hard we try to hold on to things, change is inevitable. Instead of resisting, embrace the flow of life and let people's actions speak louder than their words. Everything you do creates a trail of dots that, at first, may not make sense. But as you progress in life, you'll begin to see how all those dots connect, giving you insight into why you made certain choices and how they shaped your journey. Commitment gets you started, consistency keeps you going, and persistence ensures you reach your goals. It's important to remember that love is not something you experience just once. You can fall in love more than once, and if someone leaves you, often it's for the best. As hard as it may be to accept, the departure of a loved one doesn't diminish your worth or your ability to find happiness again. If someone is trying to bring you down, it's only because they see you above them, and instead of letting their negativity consume you, use it as fuel to rise even higher. Promises should never be made lightly. What may seem insignificant to you could mean the world to someone else. The consequences of broken promises go far beyond the moment. They can damage trust and relationships irreparably. Going back to a past relationship is like putting on dirty clothes after a fresh shower. It makes no sense and does nothing for your growth. Instead, keep an open mind, act like an artist, but think, fail, and learn like a scientist. Your purpose is not found somewhere else. It's created right where you stand. Stoic rules teach us that meaning is not something to be searched for, but something we must bring into our lives through our actions and mindset. One of the most powerful realizations in life is that everything can change in an instant. Gratitude is the antidote to complacency. When you appreciate what you have now, you are more likely to use it to do good, to grow, and to build a meaningful life. True wealth comes not from accumulating material possessions, but from seeking out new experiences. As the Stoics believed, he who is content with little is rich. And the richness of life is measured by the quality of your thoughts and actions. Action breeds more clarity than thought, so if you want to change your life, start by taking action, not just thinking about it. The life you experience is a reflection of your mindset. Chasing happiness will only lead you to misery until you realize that happiness is not a destination, but a way of living. All you have is the present moment, so make the most of it. The Stoics often said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Every moment is a gift. Treat it as such. It's wise to ask for advice, but it's even wiser to know who to seek it from. The people you surround yourself with will influence your mindset, so choose carefully. If there's one thing you can drop to immediately improve your life, let it be your ego. The more grateful you are, the more beauty you will see in the world around you. Gratitude transforms the mundane into something extraordinary, and the more generous life will seem. You won't forget some of the bad things that have happened to you, but with time you'll stop caring as much. Success is not about how much you have, but how resourceful you are with what you've got. Fear is one of the most limiting forces in life. It seeps into our decisions and holds us back from reaching our full potential. But as the Stoic rule states, you must face fear, conquer it, and celebrate every victory. You cannot swim toward new horizons unless you are willing to lose sight of the shore. It's never too late to do the things you've always wanted to do. Don't let other people's insecurities or doubts become your own. People will always project their limitations onto you, but building a shield against this noise will protect your peace. In the end, the lessons are clear. Be honest with yourself and others. Cultivate meaningful relationships. Embrace change, and live with gratitude. These are the Stoic principles that will not only solve 93% of your problems, but also lead you to a life of inner peace and fulfillment. So, what is one step you can take today to live more intentionally and apply these Stoic rules in your life? You don't owe anyone the full story of your past, because only you can truly understand the depth and meaning behind your experiences. Sharing your past with the wrong people might lead to misunderstandings, or worse, they may use it against you. But remember, your past does not define your future. Tomorrow could be completely different from today if you make the choice to move forward. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, reminds us in his Meditations. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If you spend today focusing on what's not working and crying over it, you're ensuring that tomorrow will be just as bleak. But if you embrace change, no matter how difficult, your life can shift dramatically. Sometimes life feels like it's spinning out of control, as if the world is trying to tell you who you should be. But if you never stop to reflect, if you never pause to listen to what life is teaching you, you will miss those vital lessons that could guide you in a new direction. Things don't always go according to plan, and while that can be frustrating, trust me, it's often for the best. I recall a time in my own life when everything seemed to fall apart. I thought I had hit rock bottom. In that moment, feeling lost and alone, I encountered people who shared stories and insights that completely changed my perspective. It's important to remember that most people are not for you or against you. They're simply for themselves. Everyone is focused on their own lives, their own struggles. So when someone walks away or a relationship ends, understand that it's not always a reflection of your worth. What's coming ahead is often better than what's been left behind, even though it may not seem like it at first. When you face these moments of loss, your true friends become clear. Stoic lessons teach us that it's during these low points, when you feel most vulnerable, that you discover who is really in your corner. You'll realize that walking away from unhealthy relationships or toxic environments is sometimes the best path forward. As the Stoics believed, the only way out is through. There are no shortcuts, only the hard-earned growth that comes from facing life head-on. You are far stronger than you give yourself credit for. Think about it. You have survived every bad day you've ever had. No matter how difficult things got, you are still here, undefeated. This resilience is a core teaching in Stoicism, one that Marcus Aurelius often emphasized. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your strength doesn't come from avoiding hardship, but from confronting it and overcoming it. At the end of the day, nobody is going to look out for you the way you will. This is why it's so important to cultivate inner strength, to learn how to rely on yourself, and to trust that you have the ability to get through whatever life throws your way. Life may not always be fair, but it is constantly teaching us if we are willing to listen. So what are the lessons life is trying to teach you right now? Are you stuck in the past, focusing on what didn't work, or are you ready to embrace the unknown and trust that something better is on the horizon? Remember, the obstacles in your life are not there to defeat you. They are there to teach you how to rise above. The Stoic approach to life teaches us that we can't control external events, but we can control how we respond to them. So take a moment today to reflect on how far you've come, how many challenges you've already overcome, and use that as fuel to face whatever comes next. In the end, the value of these Stoic principles lies in their practicality. They help you navigate the ups and downs of life with a calm, steady mindset. You don't need to worry about what others think or dwell on the past. Focus on the present, control what you can, and trust that your future will unfold as it's meant to. Life won't always go according to plan, and that's okay. What's most important is that you keep going, learn from your experiences, and stay true to yourself. What will you do today to apply these Stoic lessons in your life? How will you strengthen your mind and prepare yourself for the challenges ahead? You've made it this far, which means you're already on the path to fixing 93% of life's challenges with these powerful Stoic principles. Drop a comment saying, "I choose resilience," to let everyone know you're ready to take control of your life. Don't miss out. There's more wisdom ahead. Facing your fears is often the first and most important step in overcoming them. The truth is, things are rarely as hard as you imagine, and once you confront them, they tend to shrink in the face of your courage. As Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." It's a reminder that our minds often exaggerate challenges, making them appear larger than they truly are. Difficulties are not just obstacles. They can be the seeds of miracles, pushing us toward growth and unexpected victories. The key to overcoming adversity is belief in yourself because, as Theodore Roosevelt wisely put it, believe you can, and you're halfway there. Not everyone you encounter will have your best interests at heart, and learning to navigate that reality is crucial. But it's in the moments when you feel least motivated, when life feels heavy, that your greatest strides can be made. Those are the days when showing up matters the most, when the discipline to keep going becomes your superpower. Modern Stoicism emphasizes the importance of focusing on what you can control, your feelings, your actions, and your thoughts. Trying to change others or the circumstances around you is a futile pursuit. It's almost always a losing battle. True power lies in controlling your own responses, and in this you become unshakable. Hardships have a way of transforming ordinary people into extraordinary individuals. This truth resonates deeply with the Stoic idea that adversity is a forge that sharpens your character. Embracing your struggles as stepping stones to your future gives meaning to the pain. The future belongs to those who dare to dream, and who believe in the beauty of those dreams. But remember, sometimes we can only find our true path by letting go of rigid plans and allowing the winds of change to guide us. Modern Stoicism teaches that flexibility is not a weakness, but a strength. You should never sacrifice your personal growth for the sake of anyone else. Pain is inevitable in life, but suffering, how you choose to react to that pain, is optional. As the Stoics would say, what stands in the way becomes the way. Your obstacles aren't just there to stop you. They are the very things that will strengthen your iron mind and lead you to success. You are far braver than you give yourself credit for, stronger than you seem, and much smarter than you think. Trust in yourself because you've already survived so much, and you will continue to survive whatever comes your way. Marcus Aurelius, in his timeless wisdom, said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Life's challenges don't block your path. They are your path. You often don't realize how strong you are until being strong is the only option you have. Expectations can often lead to disappointment, especially when you place them on others. Keeping your expectations to yourself and focusing on what you can control will save you a lot of heartache. Life isn't always fair. We see people who lie and cheat rise to positions of power and success, but that doesn't mean we should abandon our principles. As Stoicism reminds us, we are not responsible for the actions of others, only for our own. And no matter how bad a situation may seem, you have to keep battling on. Action, not hoping or wishing, brings change. Wishing without work is like a boat without a rudder. It will drift aimlessly. Making different decisions and putting in the hard work is what leads to real transformation. One of the most valuable Stoic lessons is the importance of honesty. It's a rare and expensive gift, so don't expect it from cheap people. Those who operate without integrity may seem to win in the short term, but in the long run, it's those who live by their principles who find true peace and lasting success. In modern life, we are constantly bombarded by external pressures and distractions, but the Stoic way teaches us that the only thing we truly control is ourselves. Your strength lies in your ability to manage your thoughts and emotions, to focus on what you can do today, to move closer to your goals. When you face fear and adversity head-on, you discover an iron mind within yourself, a mind that cannot be broken by external circumstances. So, how will you respond to the challenges in your life? Will you let fear control you, or will you take charge of your thoughts and actions? The choice is yours, and with the wisdom of modern Stoicism, you are equipped to face whatever comes your way. These lessons aren't just theories. They are practical tools for living a more resilient, fulfilled life. So, what is one step you can take today to apply these Stoic principles and strengthen your iron mind? When patience pays off, you often look back and realize the waiting wasn't as long or as painful as it once seemed. That's the power of time and perspective. The first step in mastering patience is learning to be kind to yourself. As the Stoic principle teaches us, you cannot love or understand others until you have learned to love and understand yourself. When we experience pain, it's easy to focus on the discomfort, but pain isn't there to simply cause suffering. It's a teacher. Every challenge we face carries a lesson, and it's through these lessons that we grow. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Pain and adversity are not obstacles, they are paths to wisdom. Think about the times in your life when poor judgment led to mistakes. Those mistakes weren't failures, they were opportunities to learn. Good judgment is the fruit of experience, and experience is often born from bad decisions. Stoic rules remind us that our past, no matter how painful or full of errors, should not limit our future potential. There are no real limits to what you can achieve, except those you create in your own mind. The boundaries we often see are self-imposed, and as the Stoics teach, we must confront life's challenges head-on rather than wishing them away. Life doesn't always bend to our will, but the more we try to avoid challenges, the more we miss out on growth. Letting go isn't something you do once and move on. It's a practice, something you must do every day. Letting go of the past, negative emotions, or failed plans allows you to move forward. This is an ongoing process, and sometimes the hardest part of letting go is accepting that you need to do it over and over again. The road to meaningful destinations is never easy. Difficult roads often lead to the most beautiful places, but the journey can be rough. In life, There comes a point where you have to decide whether to turn the page, write a new chapter, or close the book entirely. It's about knowing when to continue, when to change course, and when to let go. And when you emerge from life's storms, you won't be the same person who walked into them. Adversity has a way of reshaping us, much like how a storm reshapes a landscape. As the Stoics would say, the only way out is through. Courage, perhaps the greatest of all virtues, is what enables us to face adversity, to grow, and to act in accordance with our values. Without courage, all other virtues fade, because it is the foundation that allows consistency in action. In the world we live in, many people will deceive you if given the chance. That's just human nature. But as the Stoics would remind us, it's not about the deceit of others, it's about how you respond. Life's challenges don't drown us because they exist. They drown us when we stay stuck in them. You don't drown by falling into the water. You drown by choosing to remain submerged. Life is inherently risky, and the only risk you should avoid at all costs is doing nothing. Fear of failure or rejection often paralyzes us, but doing nothing guarantees stagnation. Every risk we take holds the potential for growth. As Epictetus once said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Every new chapter of your life will demand a new version of you, a version that's learned from past challenges and is willing to grow into the future. Modern Stoicism teaches us that you don't need to see the whole staircase, just the first step. Taking that first step is the hardest, but once you do, momentum builds and progress follows. Have faith in your ability to take action, even if you don't know exactly where it will lead. The chief danger in life isn't taking risks, but taking too many precautions. Overthinking and fear of the unknown can prevent you from reaching your potential. Stoic principles remind us that life is short, and waiting for the perfect moment often results in missed opportunities. The most important thing to remember is that you deserve the life you want. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're not worthy of your desires and goals. You are stronger than you know, and the journey you're on, with all its challenges, is shaping you into the person you're meant to become. These Stoic lessons aren't just abstract ideas, they're practical tools for daily living. The most important skill in life isn't about avoiding failure, but learning how to fall and rise again. Think about it. Every bad day you've faced has played a part in building your better days. It's often the toughest moments that teach you the most, not just about the world, but about yourself. The Stoic lessons remind us that it's within adversity that we find our strength. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This teaches us that the challenges you face aren't there to stop you. They are there to shape you. Let your focus be on improving yourself, so much so that you don't have time to waste criticizing others. Modern life already comes with enough complications, and people often make it worse by adding unnecessary stress to their lives. A tough truth we all learn at some point is that not everyone you meet will have your best interests at heart. And that's okay, because it's not about how others treat you. It's about how you respond. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control the actions of others, only how we react to them. Happiness and unhappiness don't exist in isolation. They are simply comparisons of one state to another. Someone who has experienced despair can truly appreciate bliss, and that's why hard times, while painful, often come disguised as blessings. It's during the suffering that you build resilience, wisdom, and a clearer understanding of what really matters. Life's struggles make you stronger, and with every fall, you become better equipped to stand back up. Have you ever noticed that after going through something really tough, you see the world differently? That's because suffering teaches us to value the good days even more. We spend so much time rehearsing scenarios in our minds, preparing for what we think might happen. But here's the thing: reality will always surprise you. No matter how much you imagine the future, life unfolds in its own unpredictable way. Worrying about what might happen is a waste of time, because you can never prepare for every outcome. What you can do is focus on building your mental strength and resilience, so that when life does surprise you, you're ready. People will come in and out of your life, and sometimes those you thought would be with you forever will become memories of the past. Letting go is a part of life, and clinging to what was only hinders your growth. The permanence we often seek is an illusion. Life is about change, and learning to embrace it is key to living with peace. Modern Stoicism teaches us that it's not about avoiding hardship, it's about finding the wisdom within it. Life will never be free of difficulties, but the way you navigate those difficulties can define your future. Instead of running from challenges, face them head-on and let them teach you the lessons you need to learn. This approach will not only make you stronger, but also wiser and more resilient. At the end of the day, the most important lesson we can take from Stoicism is that life is full of ups and downs, and while we can't control what happens, we can always control how we respond. That's where true power lies. One of the most valuable lessons in life is that healing happens at the pace of our forgiveness. Holding on to grudges only keeps you stuck, while forgiveness allows you to move forward and grow. As Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "To be angry is to punish oneself for the mistakes of others." In modern Stoicism, we are reminded that a little foolishness can help you enjoy life, but a little wisdom is what protects you from making choices that cause harm in the long run. The hard times we face don't make us heroes. Rather, they reveal the strength and resilience that has always been within us. It's through adversity that the iron mind is forged, pushing us to dig deeper into our potential. Happiness doesn't come from living a life free of problems. True happiness is found in how well you can manage and overcome them. Challenges are a part of life, and it's your ability to deal with them that defines your inner peace. One of the greatest acts of courage you can perform is stepping out of your past, freeing yourself from old stories and mistakes, and allowing yourself to live the life you've always dreamed of. Nothing will change in your life unless you take the initiative to change yourself first. We often think we know people, but in truth, we mostly know the version of them that we want to see. Over time, I've learned that life demands balance. You can't take from it without giving something back in return. Instead of wasting energy on things you can't control, redirect that energy into what you can create and build for your future. By applying these Stoic secrets, you gain the clarity to focus on what truly matters and strengthen your mind to face whatever comes next. If you're still with us, you're serious about transforming your mindset with modern Stoicism. Comment "Strength through Stoicism" to show your commitment to applying these life lessons. Keep watching. Your journey to a stronger, wiser self has only just begun. Maturity begins when you stop complaining about the things that go wrong and start making changes to improve your life. It's the moment when you realize that excuses only hold you back, and instead of waiting for life to happen, you start taking control of it. Stoic rules remind us that not everything can be understood immediately. Sometimes growth requires patience. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Some goodbyes, no matter how difficult, are necessary because they set you free. Often, we find that the only person we are destined to become is the person we consciously decide to be, and that's where real power lies. If you have a strong purpose in life, you don't need external motivation. Your passion will naturally drive you forward. Modern Stoicism emphasizes this as one of the key principles. Purpose gives life meaning, and when you align with that purpose, you don't need to be pushed. Life starts to change for the better when we accept that we don't have to have all the answers. It's liberating to admit that not knowing everything is okay. In fact, it's in our moments of uncertainty that we grow the most. This realization allows us to focus on being present and kind to others. Be the reason someone smiles today. Be the person who restores someone's belief in the goodness of people. Sometimes a simple act of kindness can change someone's life. It's never too late to reinvent yourself. Many people fall into the trap of believing they are too old or too set in their ways to change. But the truth is that personal transformation can happen at any point in life. Persistence may sometimes bear bitter fruit, but it's through these experiences that we learn to let go of parts of ourselves that no longer serve us. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means making room for something better. Obstacles, much like the walls we encounter in life, aren't meant to stop us. As the Stoic principle teaches, they are opportunities for us to figure out new ways around or through them. If you encounter a wall, don't turn back. Figure out how to climb it, break through it, or work around it. This is how you build an iron mind, capable of facing life's toughest challenges with resilience and creativity. You won't always get what you want, but as the Rolling Stones wisely put it, you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you get what you need. The first step toward getting somewhere different in life is deciding that you won't stay where you are. Change begins with a decision. Sometimes, the hardest lessons in life are learning which bridges to cross and which to burn. Not every path is meant for you, and learning to let go of the wrong ones is a crucial part of personal growth. Pay attention to life's lessons because they often arrive when you are ready to hear them. It's when we stop avoiding our emotions and face them directly that we grow stronger and happier in the long run. Guard your thoughts when you're alone, and be mindful of your words when you're with others. If you don't spend your time and energy on yourself, others will happily spend it for you. This is one of the most important Stoic rules to live by. Be grateful for what you already have, even as you pursue new goals. As we learn from life, wishing for things to be different doesn't make it so. Action does. We spend so much time wishing things would change, but real change only comes from within and from the choices we make. It's also important to remember that sometimes you simply won't fit in, no matter how hard you try. And that's perfectly okay. It's better to be alone and true to yourself than to compromise your values to fit into places or with people who aren't meant for you. Every journey has its final day, but don't rush the process. Life is not a race. When one door closes, another opens. But too often, we spend so much time looking at the door that closed that we miss the opportunities ahead. Always trust your instincts, even when others doubt you. Your gut feeling is often more reliable than external opinions. Don't take people for granted because you never know when they could be gone. The people in your life are your most precious assets, and you won't truly understand how much they mean to you until they're no longer there. Never back down from a real challenge, because it's within those challenges that life's greatest lessons are found. You are your own best friend and worst enemy, and the choice of which side to nurture is entirely yours. You cannot control how others behave, but you can always choose how to respond. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning not to cry because something is over, but to smile because it happened. Sometimes, losing everything is the only way to discover who you truly are. It's during tough times that we realize our resilience is far stronger than we imagined. In life, no one else will speak up for you. You have to be your own advocate. As much as we wish we could help others change, there comes a time when we have to accept that people won't change unless they truly want to. If you've tried again and again, and they still won't change, it's okay to walk away. Your life is shaped by the choices you make, and there's no predetermined plan, just the consequences of those choices. Be careful with your kindness, because while it's important to be generous, there are people who will take advantage of it. You can either be the victim of your circumstances or rise as the hero of your own story. The choice is yours. The most precious thing in life is time spent with the people you love. We often forget that happiness isn't about getting more or achieving what we don't have. It's about appreciating what's already in front of us. As you move forward in your journey, remember that your future is shaped by how well you understand your past and learn from it. Life is about learning, growing, and appreciating the lessons along the way. How will you take these Stoic principles and apply them to your life today? What choices will you make to ensure that you're living with purpose, resilience, and gratitude? In conclusion, the lessons of modern Stoicism not only help us solve 93% of life's problems, but they also teach us to grow and become more resilient in the face of challenges. The Stoic principles remind us that no one else can shape your life but you. Every hardship you face isn't an obstacle, but an opportunity to discover your inner strength and build an iron mind that stands firm in the face of adversity. It's not about what happens to you, but how you choose to respond. Life may not be perfect, but you have the power to decide who you will become, how you will overcome obstacles, and how you will pursue your goals. Remember, every challenge contains valuable lessons, and sometimes letting go of the old opens new doors. Don't just sit and hope for things to change. Take action, because only action can change reality. Finally, spend time with those you love and be grateful for what you already have, because happiness doesn't come from getting more, but from appreciating what's already yours. These lessons don't just help you live better, they help you understand yourself and find peace in any situation. Your future is shaped by the choices you make today. So, are you ready to apply these Stoic principles to your life?